Hey guys. All right. So it's been a couple weeks since I did a video. We were working out in the gym the last time we shot a video. So since then, we've done a few circuits and whatnot. And Monday of last week was the only workout we got in. So we did an upper body circuit with pull-ups, pull-downs, flies, biceps, triceps. I mean, we killed it. So yeah, by Tuesday, I only had 5 hours sleep Tuesday and Wednesday from shooting with Lance Tyler up in New Jersey. And so, needless to say, just playing catch up on stuff around the house in the busy life schedule. But today's workout is going to be me all by myself. My workout partner has to work from 4 a.m. to 11 p.m. So, not even sure how our workout's going to go tomorrow, other than try to do a full body. So today, what I think I'm going to wind up doing is just a little bit of core strength training. My low back is still a little iffy. Yesterday, I took the pups to a doggy birthday party, walking them up the street. One's slow, one's fast, so it's kind of like Stretch Armstrong. They wore me out a little bit, and they pushed that hip mobility a little. Um, Speaking of mobility, so what I wanted to touch on today was a little bit of the fact that I am writing a program for a friend of mine and his wife, which I recently got to meet, and I can't wait to work with her a little bit. She is wheelchair bound. She has muscle issues and stuff that, cerebral palsy is something that happens a lot of times at birth. um, and when you're going on, and even when I'm trying to find through researching stuff and protocols through therapists and whatnot, the internet tends to show a lot of stuff for children with CP, but not for adults. So I may wind up touching a lot more on that later on down the line. A friend of mine's son, who's been in a wheelchair and paralyzed since he was a baby due to a car accident that she was in years ago, is one of the reasons why you guys have some wheelchair videos out there from the 90s and the 2000s. So the possibilities of maybe me shooting some stuff with bands and balls and therapy balls, so that people in a wheelchair know that there's still stuff that has to be done to maintain the body. I think that the normal, what you would say, non-wheelchair bound people, because nobody's normal. People who aren't constricted in their movements don't understand that when I moved to the DC area, it really pet peeve of mine is one of my fans that I met with numerous times over the years. Every time I would book a hotel, I'd have to make sure that it was wheelchair accessible. And because of some of the old buildings here, I went out to dinner with him a few times, went to the movies with him a few times. Movie theaters seem to be more up on speed when it comes to the American Disabilities Act versus restaurants here in DC, because of everything being so old and they've been grandfathered in, that a lot of these places don't really adhere to the ADA. And that's a pet peeve of mine. And you know, we were having this conversation a couple weeks ago, and my friend has said, well, we just learn to accept it, and if they don't adhere to it and whatever, we just don't do business with them. I understand that, and I'm completely full-fledged to that. I believe that if anybody is limited to be able to go into a restaurant due to the fact that their wheelchair or their motion device can't get through the front door, I too don't want to patronize that company. Um, Taking a friend of mine before through the back, through the kitchen, um, entryway to come in and sit down and have a meal, is something that I think for people who aren't pressed on their mobility, um, that should make you think twice on how lucky you are if you're able to move around non-restricted, and you're not forced to go through a kitchen to enter a restaurant. Back to what I was talking about though with the mobility factors in a wheelchair. Um, because the limited range of motion and movement, depending upon why you're in the chair, again, for her, it's CP, but I dated a guy years ago that had a motorcycle accident and became a paraplegic. So it was, lower half extremities didn't move. So they still have to be manually moved to keep blood flow through the limbs and whatnot, and circulation. That is some of the stuff that facing adults, and again, like I said, wheelchair exercises. If you're googling them, or if you're even going online and into our professional paperwork, they always tend to steer towards the children and not the adults. And let me say that it's more important, or just as important, that adults are being moved every day with body parts that don't move on their own or have limited movement, as it is for the children. Children are growing, so the limbs are still going to grow whether or not they can move or not. With adults, we're deteriorating every day, and the body still needs to move, and that becomes, even with people who don't have limited range of motion problems and aren't in wheelchairs, your lack of movement, you're sitting at a desk all day working and not working out, creates the body to deteriorate faster than if it is every day created micro tears and building and tearing new tissue. So the same thing goes for people in the chairs. And what I found is, in my research of trying to find a good home program for her, was the fact that the internet, even in 2017, is limited on what the general population can Google. I know the resources to go to, so I know, what therapies to put her through. But if you were Googling it yourself, you wouldn't find it. So I'm going to try to make sure that I can do a couple videos for my wheelchair fans, so that that you should be moving right along with the rest of us, and that your progress and your no matter how old you are, whether you're 20, 40, or 60, you can still keep your range of motion and keep the joints from stiffening and having all of the normal deteriorated aging process tear downs, and just go, oh, I'm getting old. That's just part of the program. Uh, Again, Jack LaLanne's wife, Elaine, is 90 years old. She's fully moving around great, and that's all the years of her and Jack being in the fitness lifestyle. Jack LaLanne was one of my heroes, and I was fortunate enough to have met him twice in my lifetime. So the importance of exercise, including what I'm going through right now with my mobility issue, with my hip, is getting better every day, but it's a process. Life is a process. It may not happen overnight. It's a little at a time. So if your range of motion, whether it's an injury or in a wheelchair, or stroke victims where your arm isn't quite moving the way it was before, there are ways, and not always going to be on Google, to find it. So again, do more due diligence in looking on the internet specifically for adult exercises, and not just what to do for children. Because again, children are growing and we're deteriorating. So the protocols are a little bit different from time to time, depending upon, we lose the strength and muscles if they're not being used every day. And so, needless to say, that was kind of some of the stuff that I wanted to kind of touch on, of where I'm going to kind of take some of my videos for a little bit too, besides watching me build my career and my body back, and get the bodybuilding workouts going again, without feeling weakness in my low back and weakness in my core. So until then, I don't know. I'll probably do a couple still pictures or whatever in the gym today. I hate getting stared at. People looking at me like, she's videoing her workout. And so since I'm all by myself too, my workout partner's not with me. Yeah, I'll probably just be some still photos of what I'm gonna do with the core. But until then, namaste, and seize the day. It's hump day. Go out, go kill it. In the DMV, it's a beautiful day. On the West Coast, sorry folks, it's still hot as hell. But I hope to be back soon and soak up some sun because, yeah, I'm a little pasty. Bye.